Everyone. I'm Claudio Sassanelli. I'm associate professor at Politecnico di Bari, and I'm going to present our third web talk of the CERES project, titled Valorizing Innovating Ideas, Winning Proposal from CERES Hackathons. We are in a hybrid format, so we are physically in Madeira at the IESA conference hosted and organized by Uninova. And we are also online with you. So I'm with Theodora Kallipolitou from Zelus and José Ferreira from Uninova, who will be discussing our results in the next hour. I will start introducing the project. You already know this project. This is the first web talk, so we will move directly to the, let's say, to a small glimpse of what we did so far. We are a project of 10 institutions. We have 4 universities, companies, and other organizations that contributed directly to create, delivering, and implementing curricula for higher education and vocational and educational training. These are composed of 4 core courses and 2 specialized modules delivered through the Circular Economy Digital Innovation Hub. This hub has been and is actually now the means useful to deliver all the services, skill and competence based to the students and professionals willing to attend the CERES program. That was so far quite successful and has been enriched also with the 4 hackathons that we have been organizing and delivering from the beginning of 2020, the end of 2025 up to March 2026. So we have been organizing stakeholder engagement, entrepreneurship, and circular economy learning in the higher education context on a personal level. And they are the good opportunity, a real opportunity to expose students to practical sustainability challenges, empirical sustainability challenges that could also bring them in collaborative problem-solving processes. Companies perceive these events, these challenges as and the outcome coming from the students as thought-provoking and valuable for further exploration. So something that could enrich the perspective on their own business. And based on all of these, the final gap that has been detected in the current literature is that since up to now, the hackathons have been contributing to provide just country-focused context and results. So they are missing to learn from the diverse education and problem context. So this is why we, in CERES, we aimed to design a series of distributed hackathons across Europe for circular economy education, implemented in European higher education and BET institutions, and connected through a shared thematic focus on the circular economy topic. So based on this, we were trying to understand why students and companies should attend and be involved in this kind of event. Of course, students could challenge themselves, could learn new concepts, could meet new people that could be students, academic practitioners, managers, but also could be in touch with real problems for real companies. On the other side, companies could generate new ideas, have a different perspective on their business, find new talents in students and professionals who will be attending the event, and meet students and academia to also explore new opportunities for their business. In common between these two categories of stakeholders, of course, in the CERES framework, we have the access and the opportunity to get the CERES content, so to be in touch, to go through the CERES curricula. So I was telling before that we had 4 hackathons. They are composing the conceptual foundation of the CERES hackathons, and they were quite different in terms of structure. The first, the Italian one, was organized by Politecnico di Milano, Politecnico di Bari, and Derion, and it was delivered at the end of 2025. It was lasting 1 week in a hybrid format. All of them were conducted in English, well delivered in English. The Cyprus one was hosted by Cyprus Certification Company and Circular Economy Alliance, lasting 5 days, also in this case, in a hybrid format. Finally, in Denmark and in Bulgaria, we had respectively 1 day and 2 days of duration, and the format was in person and hybrid, respectively. In terms of challenges, we managed to gather 14 at the very beginning of this set of event, 14 company challenges, so 7 from Italy, 2 from Denmark, 3 from Cyprus, and 2 plus a final last one that was achieved, was obtained at the very end to deliver the Bulgarian hackathon. So in total, we had 15 company challenges that were then offered in the different way, so in a different set and composition throughout the 4 events. So the Italian were using all of them, and then the Cyprus, the Bulgarian, and the Danish hackathons were selecting respectively 8, 3, and 10 challenges from the entire set of challenges that have been gathered. How did the CERES Hackathon work? The CERES consortium was recruiting students and professionals, so both at the 2 levels. And they were grouped in from 2 to max 5 people, participants. So the people could enroll to the CERES local hackathon through the hub, and they could have the opportunity to choose a specific challenge that could on which they were supposed to work on. They were also asked to provide at the end of this group work a 7-minute video pitch that then has been evaluated by the CERES consortium to grant the winners and to provide the certificate and the badge. But the path was not concluded in this way. We had also the opportunity to give awards to the top 3 teams to the CERES local hackathons. So the amount of the award was depending on the availability of the different countries. And then we also were giving these awards in a ceremony session that then we will have a further session for the hackathon awarding ceremony at the European level that we will be held on the 12th and 13th of May during the CERES consortium meeting. The criteria for evaluating the pitches have been basically 5. The first was the quality, so the appropriateness of the solution realized and provided by the students. Then the originality, of course, the level of innovation of the solution provided. A main topic was the relevance to the sustainability, so to the triple bottom line from an economic, social, and environmental side. Of course, the solution should be also feasible. So the evaluators were considering if the solution was actually could be actually implemented by companies, and the effectiveness of the presentation, that was a quite important criterion to award the groups. Of course, the pitches were evaluated by a committee that was composed by one representative per partner of the CERES consortium. Different support mechanisms were used, and the educational infrastructure were used in these 4 events. The main one were the educational resources. So the courses that were provided were developed and provided through the CERES project, the challenge documentation with the website, the detailed descriptions of the challenges, and of course some scheduling of the different events, providing to the students, to the participants, information about mentoring sessions, deadline, event programming. Of course, we provided also guidelines for the video pitch realization, and we had some features to support we had some networking tools, let's say. Now we have the hub which was playing the role of fostering the networking among different participants of the same group, but also throughout the different groups of people attending the event. We were also submitting a form at the end of the event to get some feedback and get some evaluation of the work that we have been doing, offering these service that was the European Hackathon. I was telling you that we provided some guidelines for the video pitch, and it was really useful for the students to give them a structure, since they had to go through an introduction with the name of the team and the challenge selected, and the team members should be also introduced with background, their skills, characterizing skills and affiliation. The problem should be retrieved by the students. So how the team actually see the problem that was provided and suggested by the company, and then also the solution should be introduced and presented by the group. 3 main points were those related to the sustainability, to the triple bottom line of sustainability, and finally the conclusion and the call to action to envision the scalability of the solution provided. I will give you now some information about the community features. So how actually the CERES Hackathon was implemented. The Italian one was lasting effectively 5 days to let people work on the solution, on the development of the solution, and some informative session, some mentoring, hybrid mentoring, and the submission was done remotely to support the 63 participants and 17 teams who were attending the Italian Hackathon. In this case, we had multiple universities and programs involved in the hackathon. In this case, we didn't involve only students and professionals from the university and the companies organizing the event, but also other students coming from other universities. So we had, of course, the majority from Polini and Poliba, but then the 9% was coming from other university of outside of these organizations. In Cyprus, we had 19 participants with 5 teams. The teams were made either of professional or of students, but with the same level of education. So the difference here that we had not heterogeneous students and different and heterogeneous level of university specialization and universities, but here it was more consistent, the composition of the people composing the same team. So the team was combining different backgrounds, but all from the same level. In the case of the Bulgarian hackathon, the duration was 1 day. It was in person and another day online. The participants were 4 teams, but all of them were coming from the same universities and with the same academic year, so also in this case, the same level of education. Also in Denmark, we had instead, in this case, 1 day of duration with 16 participants at the level of master students, 3 teams composed of 5-6 members, and these students were all coming from the same university that was the Aalborg universities. But the teams were composed by students from the same program. So we can see that the 4 events were calling from participants with different composition, with different granularity of education, specialization, and universities. What we can add, of course, were also the events were organized in a different way. The Italian hackathon were supporting also for creating the groups. So the students were trying to put them together to create groups, but then the CERES consortium was trying to put together those individuals that were alone. And also they have been organized 3 informative guiding sessions that were working as checkpoints to guide and mentor the students throughout the process. The Cyprus hackathon was also proposing mentoring, was including ice breaking as well, and team building. The Bulgarian was providing, together with Denmark, some facilitators with also some physical structure like flip charts and smartphone sticky notes to help students to brainstorm on the solution they were trying that were supposed to be developed. And finally, the Denmark's event was conducted in the Play Lab environment, also through the sandboxing, so a specific tool to support the brainstorming to go outside of the box, and it was they were suggested by 4 main phases to guide the students in conceptualizing and developing the solution. What can we add here is that the mentors involved in these 4 different events were quite different. So in the Italian one, we had more challenges, and we involved 17 mentors across 11 mentoring sessions, while in the other events, we had less challenges, but also less mentors that were then helping specifically for the different challenge the students to develop the solution. We had the possibility to gather some feedback from the participants of the hackathons. It's the final numbers are quite satisfying. The main result, I would say, is that the students had an improved understanding of circular economy principles, but also the educational material was considered quite useful to, and this is also, let's say, impelling, bringing these students in a good involvement in a future engagement with the CERES community. And the main result, I would say that this path has been quite an inspirational path for continuing working on the sustainability topic. So the final objective of raising the awareness about this topic and involve young generations in sustainability has been achieved, and is also promising to involve those and keep in the loop these people to further to new effort towards this transition. The participant evaluation and feedback also provided some further information to the CERES consortium. In Italy, they were claiming for challenge clarity and scope, so to provide more background about specific context of the different challenges proposed by the companies. And also they were claiming for more time. So the 7 minutes were limit was considered too restrictive for allowing them the big picture of the solution. But also in-person presentation would be considered a good solution for them against the video picture just recording and uploading on the hub. So also in Cyprus, they were asking for more time in different phases to develop the solution. This is due to the different duration of the events. They were claiming for clearer challenge, to better communication, to envision, to explain how the hackathon will work. So depending on the structure of the hackathons, the different students were providing some feedback. For example, in Bulgaria, they were asking some follow-up mentorship to further expand and develop the solutions proposed. Finally, in Denmark, they were suggesting to improve the structure, but they were also feeling that the sandbox play was quite necessary. So based on these first hints that we got from our experience, I would start involving our invited speakers. First, the floor will be given to Dora, asking her this question. So the circular economy challenges are complex and interconnected. I would say that we know that circular economy, the environment and the circularity demands for different efforts, different competencies and skills, and the hackathons was reflecting this. So hackathons must balance fast-paced structure with giving teams enough time to deeply explore specific phases. How can teams maintain both pressure-driven excitement and sufficient depth?
Hi, thank you for having me in your company.
Welcome.
So I can share my experience both from participating in a hackathon and from having organized hackathons with this topic. I think two elements are very important. One, if you have active participation of the company or the institution that sets the challenge, this can set like the pressure pace, and it can make the whole thing very interactive and successful. So to answer your question, I think if the challenger, let's say, is actively involved, then there is no problem. If the challenger is not so actively involved, then I think the solution would be to focus on one of the phases of the circular challenge. So, for example, it could be like the unknowns are always there, even if you know the problem, let's say, always you have to assume, like in a system thinking solution, you can have some actors participating, some others are more difficult to find. So you can get like problems of the circularity that you are trying to involve and to get, and try to focus there. So then the problem is a little bit more defined, And then the people have to be more innovative to solve the problem basically that they have in a small amount of time. So that would be my 5 cents.
Thanks for the insights. They are really useful. And I guess that we can triangulate with our experience, since we have been providing this kind of mentoring sessions during the hackathons, and we were realizing that giving some suggestions, giving some different perspective throughout the process of the development of the solution, the students could get some excitement in bringing in further exploring and going out of the let's say the box of what should be what is proposed in the text of the company, and consider also other facets connected to the text that is provided by the company itself.
Yes, and if the company cannot be, because like we know that this is not always possible, then the challenges are too many. So that's why it's better if they focus on one phase, a smaller problem, and then they can think out of the box about how to solve this little
Okay, good.
thing.
Thanks.
Because that is not little normally.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, and this is quite related also, this answer, to the next question that I would like to discuss with José. So we had the feeling that involving companies is quite difficult, no, in these events. It was already a good result to get all these wide and heterogeneous set of challenges to be proposed to students, but then also involving them directly and personally, for example, for entire days in these events is quite tough. No, we are demanding too much time to personnel that is usually working during those days. So it's not easy to have them physically there. We had the opportunity to have some mentoring sessions by their side, but really constrained in reduced time slot. So it's how we can better involve companies given these constraints, and given that on the other side, students are quite excited and motivated to work with limited time on these challenging topics.
Thank you, Claudio, for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to work with you. I would like to do a question because I didn't understand. Do we have prizes for?
Yeah, we had prizes. We had local prizes per each of these hackathons. We had in the Italian one, we had higher prices. So we had 2,500 euros, 1,500 euros, and 1,000 euros for the first three teams under that were given were given as a voucher to them to be spent. So this is a motivation for the students. And we will have also a final prize for the 4 winners of the 4 hackathons. So the 4 winners of the 4 hackathons will compete for the final prize of the European hackathon. In this case, we will have a smaller prize that will be of 500, 300, and 200 euros. And so we will have a further award to be received by the students that will be added to the badge and that they will have on the platform on which they are going through the curricula, but also certification for attending the hackathon itself.
Okay, and what was the involvement of the companies in these hackathons? So they were involved in the structure of the hackathons, or do you invite them to raise some questions or problems?
Yeah, actually, this is what we will present in the next part of this.
The answer.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because normally, as Dora said, it's difficult to bring companies. They have the need of winning something with this because they will lose time. they need to send people. These people, if they are in the hackathons, is not working, so it's always complicated for them to share this resource to us to supporting this. So I was asking what are the evolving, because one of the answers is or the possible solution is we have more investment on companies when we are organizing the hackathons, to give problems of these companies so they can have something that can bring to insight, because they can have these results and maybe it can be interesting for them. Another ones that I don't know if you do it, I already had this experience in the past, is, and it runs more or less well, is to give the possibility for the companies to invite the students to be their internships or employees or so on. So this is a bi-directional motivation, because the companies have interest, they can choose the best ones, and for the students they can be motivated because I want to work in that company. So these are two solutions, and I did only one time this, and it was interesting. The results was interesting, and we can talk after this about this possibility. But yeah, it's very complicated, and it's not only in this the hackathons. Generally, invite companies for anything is always a nightmare.
Yeah, and maybe it's even more complicated to involve students, because as a professor, we know that we could try to attract these students also through our courses, no? Involving and embedding these kind of events in our courses, that could be a means to try to involve, to attract students. But at the end of the day, outside of our courses, it's not so easy to reach students and to ask them to attend these events. Of course, we have been discussing that both students and companies will have some benefits being part of this kind of hackathons, but for us it is not so easy to reach a high number of students. How, from your experience, we could reach students outside of our room, let's say, no, or our class?
That is a difficult question, because normally we have the few students that are motivated to do this, but these ones are not enough. It's a few group inside the group of students. The price is an option, so I asked for the price, but at the same time, normally is the motivated ones that join us. So we need to look to the other ones and try to understand why they don't have motivation, and why they don't normally go to this type of events, or not only hackathons, but this type of events. I don't know if you know the European group called BEST. It is, I think, in almost all universities in Europe. I was one of them, and it was interesting because what we do is this. What you are doing is, we want to bring engineering students to our groups, and we do, I will not say hackathons, but we do scientific challenge, and we do we in the past did is this challenge as a game. So we want to use engineering, but we to motivate them, we put the games to use engineering to uh, uh, reach the result that we expect. So, for example, doing a bridge with spaghetti, and we'll see which one is the stronger one, putting some weight and identify which one will be strong enough for that weight. So, for example, so this needs some part of engineering. They need to think. So they have the challenge itself. They have the duration that force them to answer. So this is just to give the example. What was the problem? Again, it's motivation. People normally, the ones that like engineering, normally join these groups and like to play with the others. So, in the end, I don't know how to answer this, because it's something that we need to work and continue discussion to try to find the best way to bring the other ones. because for a party it's easy to bring them. Maybe it's a good option. We say that we'll have a party after it, because when you have party, everyone will be there. Food, for example, we already try that. We have a pizza party, and in the end we give pizzas.
Yeah.
So, but it's difficult anyway. We bring 10, 20 people more, but I think it's not enough. So maybe the option of cooperating more with the companies, and say you have the option that can be recruited by the company, can be an option, because most of them are concluding course, so they need to start thinking on the future. Can be the best one, I think.
Yeah, thanks for the suggestions. Yeah, so could be to reach some organizations of students, so like the best that you proposed, and also give some physical evidence that could award their participation in this kind of work.
And maybe,
Yeah, please.
if I may, guest list, guest participants, guest speakers, I don't know, you name it, YouTubers. There are a lot of YouTubers that are now like getting involved into like assessing electronics, building stuff, doing things, and they are quite popular. Or actually all kinds of things that it's an attraction that they come for them.
Yeah,
They're being inspired by them, and then they also perhaps stay.
inspiring people to be used to attract and guide students and young people to follow them. Yeah, thanks. We didn't think about that. Okay. Let's move to the second part of this presentation and this event. I will give you now a bit of information about how we have been engaging with companies, so to gather the challenges, and then which kind of solutions we were able to obtain through the work of the students, and which one were the best ones. So who were the winners of the 4 hackathons of the CERES competition. So of course we had to engage with companies. We have to select them, to contact them, and to ask first a challenge title. This challenge title were enriched through a contextual background to be provided by the company and to be checked by the CERES consortium to describe the company's business model and the sustainability journey. So how the company is integrated in this challenge. And as a final part, to clearly formulate the open challenge question. So something typically framed as how can we? So to ask for a solution to the students, to the attendees of the hackathons. And finally, is also a justification, indeed, explaining why the challenge proposed is relevant to the company's circular transition objectives. So to understand that something that could demonstrate the importance for the company's business. And we were able to gather in total, as I was saying before, 15 challenges that we had the opportunity to group in thematic areas, in categories. So we had the industrial circularity and resource recovery challenges. Here we got 6 challenges. That we can see are heterogeneous in terms of industry. We had the sustainable materials, industrial manufacturing, pharmaceutical, healthcare, construction, hospitality and tourism. So in each of them, it was asked to recover resources and to try to impel industrial circularity in in the flows of the company's business. The most selected among them were the Challenge 14 from Bulgaria, asking how circular practices on construction sites could increase profitability. This is quite in line with the regulations needs and the objective in this specific sector to try to recover flows of materials that today represent a heavy amount of waste for our planetary boundaries to be saved, let's say, no? In terms of digitalization and impact quantification, we had the possibility to propose two challenges. They were not so much selected, maybe because they were too much demanding for technical and hard competencies in a very reduced time amount that is available for solving and providing a solution. And they were related to fashion and electronics. So they were asking for a solution able to evaluate the impact of sustainable and circular solution in this kind of industries. We had also a circular business model innovation challenge. This case, it was more a creative industries to design an outcome-based service model linking pricing and service delivery to measurable indicators. So in this case, it was quite different from the other challenges that we had the possibility to propose to students. And finally, we had an organizational and educational circular transformation challenge, in this case in the STEAM education. And the most populated in terms of selected ones by the teams was the urban system and behavioral transition. That is something that is suggesting us the need and also the appeal of this kind of challenges for students to bring circularity at the macro level. So to bring actually in the society the effects, the impact of the circular economy. So the major interest was in creating smart urban infrastructure, in changing the system of public transportation, in also affecting the municipal urban mobility through new solutions to be suggested by students. We will go through these three of these challenges, since I'm going to present you the winning teams that were indeed proposing solution to these specific problems. Of course, we had to select the challenges that were proposed to the CERES consortium. These challenges had to demonstrate an engagement with sustainability, with an alignment also with academic background, a real-world impact, and also they should be aligned with the challenge sector. So the majority of the solutions were, of course, aligned with these criteria, coming from empirical issues, coming from the companies, being proposed by companies. So they were bringing their experience and their issues to be solved by the students. And let's have a look, dive in the winning teams and solutions. We will look only at the first classified teams in for each of the four hackathons. And let's start from the Italian one. The Italian one was the team led. They were 3 master students combining mechanical engineering competencies and also marketing disciplines. So they were different educational institutions and different kind of competencies that were bringing that were leading to the development of the solution. And they were facing the challenge that was asking how can we design urban furniture of collecting micro waste, in this case cigarette butts, minor electronic scraps, closing the loop in the city. The problem scoping here was that today we have a passive disposal system, that we have a limited availability of bins, that we have no active engagement with stakeholders that are dealing with these collectors. And for this reason, they were proposing Receipt. Receipt is a modular smart bench, also circular smart bench, that was entitled of gather cigarette butts and close the loop, the tobacco product littering loop, with also providing some pocket ashtrays to those that were involved in these in the use of this solution. So at the end, it was a smart and circular bench that could play a strategic role in collecting these quite important waste that we have in our cities. And they were facing this issue from all the 3 layers of the triple bottom line. So they were looking at the environmental side, reducing street waste and increasing the waste recycling, but they were also looking at the economical aspects, since they were thinking to sell this solution to public tenders and also to private companies, and to exploit the value of data. So the value of data in terms of amount of waste collected, but also of the behavior of the users, to extend also the material flows that they were supposed to collect. And finally, also from the social perspective, they were promoting a sustainable citizen behavior. At the end of the day, this pitch was effective in terms of how it was presented, but they also explored the problem in depth, providing a solution that was built on existing models, on a very complete ecosystem able to cope with the issue proposed, and also in line with the state of the art. Going through the results of the best solution provided in the Bulgarian hackathon, the team Green Reborn was composed of 3 first-year students in financial controlling. They were proposing an integrated solution that boosts public engagement through social and traditional media, so enhancing the information delivery methods and introducing a flexible paid service platform that could be complemented by a certification scheme. So this solution was answering to the challenge of how the center of competence, Clean and Circle, could promote more effectively its services among businesses. So for this reason, they were looking for a solution that could answer to the insufficient level of digitalization of companies, a lack of profitable business models, a difficulty in motivating customers in going through this transition. And also from their side, they were proposing a solution that leveraging on social media, on an easy access to circular economy information, on flexible payment options, but also on a certification and approval of the label due to the participation to this ecosystem, could bring impact that could be economic in terms of business, community trust, job creation, lower business costs, but also an environmental and social benefit, since we consequentially have reduced emissions and implementing these industrial symbiosis and eco-design practices that the hub could propose, and also an healthier environment in which these businesses, these companies are collocated. Also in this case, the jury was evaluating the communication of the solution and the deep understanding of the challenge. The objective of the solution was to bridge the gap between and to provide a holistic approach, effectively combining the awareness, the monetization mechanisms, the communication, all aligned with the coherent strategy of the company that was looking for solving this issue. Going through the CERES Hackathon, we had in this case the team OEB that was composed of 3 PhD and master students. They were also combining different competencies. So they had biotechnology, environmental science, and sustainability management competencies. And they were asked to answer to the challenge, how can we use and reuse the hotel's backwash water without increased cost, increased use of chemicals, and further negative impacts in our environment. So in this case, the problem scoping for them was to focus on water. That is one of the main gaps, main issues in Cyprus, being one of the most available sources. And for this reason, they were proposing closed-loop water recovery. That is a solution that was designed by them with an envisioned cost of 75,000 euros to recover autonomously the water and to capture an average amount of 6,400 cubic meters annually from pool backwash, to treat and reuse them and to provide them back after advanced filtration and disinfection. This will enable them to return this water to the pool cycle, and from an economical perspective, it is a solution that is rewarding, is giving a payback period of 5-7 years. So it will be paying the investment that the Cyprus organization are needing to pay at the very beginning of the implementation of this solution. In this case, it is clear that the social impact could be certainly achieved, but also the environmental side, the economical one is demonstrated by the payback period, and the solution. The team had a clear and linear presentation of the solution through a well-prepared video. And they were introducing a well-structured closed-loop recovery concept, so that it was quite strong from a technical perspective. They had the possibility, they managed to build a solution really impactful and successful in this reduced time frame, suggesting also a good feasibility for it, a good feasibility plan for it. Last winning solution is the one provided by the team Transformers that were answering to the challenge, how can a construction company increase its profit by introducing circular economy practices on the construction sites? And they were, in this case, focusing their attention on a specific issue. So construction sites, on average, order 10–15% of material more than needed. For this reason, they provided this solution that was an online shop platform for surplus materials. That could be bricks, concrete blocks, and this would integrate the rating system for the selling companies, but also for evaluating the CO2 savings that could be achieved through the use of this platform. All of these could be interpreted from the triple bottom line perspective, that from an environmental point of view is for sure reducing the virgin material use by enabling companies to trade each other the surplus material that they are supposed to use, but also to have savings in terms of costs, because the cost of disposal of the surplus is replaced by selling them, increasing earning of selling of the materials. And finally, the social impact is about the cheaper materials and more affordable housing that is feasible thanks to the lower costs of the flows needed in to be sustained by the organization, the construction companies. Also, in this case, the team show a strong understanding of the problem. They were demonstrating new revenue streams, support sustainability from all the layers of the triple bottom line, but also they demonstrated to be able to propose an innovative and interesting solution focusing on a specific issue of the pertaining the challenge proposed by the company. So also in this case, this solution was considered quite successful. So we finished our presentation of the winning challenges, and I would like to discuss these results with our speakers again. And I would start with Dora. So our results, variety of challenges doesn't always increase participant satisfaction. It was the case of Italy. We have been delivering 14 different challenges, but asking students too much effort in selecting one of them, and so to going then in deep in the comprehension of the background, of the context, and of the information needed to actually understand what is behind the challenge. So how should we balance offering a variety of challenges with providing focused, actionable problem definitions? What level of context and specificity would work best according to you, also given that you have a really insightful experience in hackathons?
Yeah, there is. I don't think there is a right or wrong here. It's there is always like a chance of luck as well. That yeah, you cannot be sure for these things. But perhaps like a good practice, let's say, and I take this a little bit from design thinking techniques, since we are addressing the potential users, which are the students that we want to invite, is to kind of make a small survey before, like what are the topics that they are interested into. So in that case, like you mentioned, like post hackathon, you saw that they mostly prefer the urban challenges. Yeah. So maybe there can be like a small like survey in advance, like what they would be more intrigued in participating, what are the problems that they are bothered with, and they would like to have, to be involved, and then to focus on finding challenges in these topics. So that is something that I'm thinking. And then the other part could be like linking back to the previous question and my answer is like within this certain like general frame of circular economy, what do they think are the most challenging steps to get a good solution, and then focus on the process instead of the solution itself. Like what are the things that they would like to practice, perhaps. Or the students, actually, the professors can actually say that better.
Of course,
not the participants themselves.
Yeah, thanks. That's really inspiring answer. Yeah. Actually, we have been providing some questionnaires to register to the hub, so to the specific hackathon, but we have been asking them just before the start of the event. So maybe we should have created another questionnaire, some at the very beginning of the conceptualization of the hackathon, to also guide ourselves in understanding where to focus. We had the opportunity only to track the type of background in terms of competencies of the students that were willing to attend the event. That could be also complementary to what you were suggesting, but of course, all of these could be more useful at the very beginning before conceptualizing the hackathon. So before also going outside on the market to look for challenges that could be meeting the requests of the students. So thanks for these answers. It is really a good hint for the next for our next possible hackathons to be organized in the future. And I would move to José. Actually, this is also a question quite linked to the previous one. So some students were asking for better description of the problem and of data availability. They were, for them, that it was not enough what it was provided. It is the case of the hackathons, especially that were lasting more, no? So in which they were having more time to focus, to go to retrieve information and to study the context, to be able to propose a more grounded and structured solution without giving too much time to the development itself. So they had the possibility to divide their path in different days and start from a really study of the background of the context. So how and to what level should a challenge be scoped in a hackathon in relation to this? So this is we have to find also in this case a trade-off between the type of information that should be given and the time that they have available for providing a reasonable solution that could meet the request of the company.
Just to continue the Dora answer, if you have too many topics, I will say, or problems, I think this will be complex for you to evaluate too, because you need to identify a way to be fair with all of the students. Since you are evaluating different topics and can be, the results can be so different that can, I don't know if you had this problem, it can be a big headache for you. So maybe too many talks can be a problem. About can you rephrase the question? Sorry.
The granularity, how much information we
Okay.
should provide to them. It's better to provide more information to students or leave them space to explore, to look for.
Thank you. So the hackathons are different. What we are seeing about your hackathons, this is the first time I'm looking to this project and what you did. this is a complex hackathon. It's not a simple problem for the students. So we had 5 days to work on it.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree that if you want a better result, they need to be more prepared with the problem and what they need to reach or what you expect them to reach. That I think is better because you want them to reach a specific result. So I agree that with them is the same as the classes. When you are preparing a final course, a final work for the course, you give 3-4 weeks because they need to look to the problem, identify what to need to do, and then start to work at. And that is impossible to do in 1 week. So I agree. You need to prepare themselves. Maybe give some documents or videos. I don't know for them to read as like a state of the art, something like that. Not the same, but to give some knowledge to them, and then they can work and base it on that. Because some hackathons are easy, the others depend of. But based on you how to show, yeah, you give a good challenge to them.
Yeah, we gave some challenges coming really from the empirical side, no? So companies were gathering the real issues, and in the case of Denmark, students had just 1 day to provide a solution. So maybe in that case they were not afraid of gathering information on the too many information on the website and on the reports about the industry reports. So they were afraid of brainstorming and then propose a solution that could fit with the issue that is presented by a company. In the other case, we had maybe these 5 days actually of work, in which they had the time available to ask themselves, okay, which kind of data do I need to provide a fair enough and fitting solution to the company. So maybe this is a good point in the next events to provide some more information if we give more a wider time lapse to the students and instead leaving less information if we give less time to them so that they are not afraid.
Just to add, and be careful because since we work in the area, normally our mind is already formatted. So when we try to find a solution, normally we try to follow our methodology, I will say like this, or our way of thinking. And the students are good because they are fresh, they are starting, so they don't have this knowledge that we win over time. So they are good because they can see a different way, a different path that is correct, but it will be different sometimes for us because we are looking in this direction and we don't want to go around that sometimes are needed. What I want to say with this is to avoid in the material that we see given to don't push them to go in this direction, but try to them to find their own way because we are already going in that direction, and what we want is to find a different one.
Yeah, thanks a lot also to Jose. So it is exactly what the literature were saying, so the companies are asking, students are looking for the solutions coming from students to go outside of their typical way of thinking, of approaching their businesses. So this is why we were trusting to keep this less information and leave them think about which could be the best combination of proposition from themselves and data that they could gather on the ground. So thanks to Jose and thanks to Dora for your insightful discussion on these results. I would just ask all the attendees of the web talk, if you still didn't do it, to register to the circularceres.net on the hub. You have the QR code on this slide, to be in touch with the CERES community and to join the Circular Hub and to be aligned with and updated with all our activities. Actually, our project is coming to the end, but we will be still there, and our curricula are still available and could be then certified if you will choose to go through the program that we have been building in these exciting 3 years. So thanks to all of you for attending also this third web talk, and see you soon.